Hi everyone, I'm Lottie. Today we're going to do a Pilates flow. It's got some yoga elements, but it's sort of like a nice stretchy mobility session to really help open up your back, get really good rotation, lengthen into the hamstrings and open up your hips. So just a really nice feel good every day or every other day or once a week mobility class that you can do. So let's begin on all fours. And we're going to start with some lovely rotation. So we're going to bring the right hand and we're going to just bring it to the side of the head. And we're going to lift and open to that right side. So opening across the thoracic, we're going to come down and just bring the elbow to the knee, to the other elbow. Okay, so it might feel like it's a little bit tight, sort of hard to really feel into that part of the back, but just go where you can and really try not to move anything else. So try not to move the hips and coming down. So we'll do that on the other side, just 3 to each side. Keep a sense of lift through the center. So as we get moving and stretching, I really want you to try and just keep all your Pilates principles in mind. So don't just kind of push through the stretches. You want to make sure that you've got good form and good alignment, and then you're going to get more efficient movement. So flexibility isn't just about how far you can stretch. It's about how efficiently you can move within the range of movement. I'm going to get carried away talking. So this is the last one. Within the range of movement that you have got. So everyone's got different ranges. So from here, we're going to take a little side cat. So walk your hands to the right. And we're going to just round the back here. So it's like a cat, but on a bit of an angle. So we get into one side of the back a little bit more. And then lengthening back through. Okay, and again, so on that same side. So try and get as much movement as you still would in a normal cat, but we're in like a little side angle. And maybe this time come into a little bit of extension. Let's start to just think about that breath. Exhale as we round. And lengthen back out. Now we're going to stay on this angle. Find that extension. And we're going to do a little rock. So you're going to push back and forward. So starting to get into your hips. You will maybe really feel this in the hips. If you've got tight hip flexors, it's a really good one for you. Just to get some nice hinging. Stretching down one side of the back as well. Let's do one more there. And then let's bring the hands to the other side. So kind of like you're going to turn yourself it's like you're going to bend around a corner around that side. So we'll do 3 cat stretches here. So round the back as we exhale. Lengthen through, arch the back, lift the chest. 2 more. So still try and get just as much movement as we do in a regular cat, just in a little bit of a side angle. Really breathe into that open side of the back. Now finding a nice neutral, we're going to do the little rocks. So I'm slightly rocking on a diagonal, pushing back towards the opposite end of the mat. 2 more there. So my thighs are moving in my hip joints. And then let's bring it back to the center. Now we're going to take the right leg to the side. So we're going to open up again. So kind of like we did at the start, but a little bit more open into our thread the needle. So right arm, right leg is going to open, lift up. We're going to thread the needle. So thread that arm through, bend the left elbow to the side as we rotate. And we've got 2 more that side open, lift that chest. And thread through. So it's like your ears coming down, listening to the mat. Last one, opening into the hips, into that whole side. Really lengthen and push away from the mat. Bring it around as we exhale. Other side there, so bring that right knee in, left leg goes out to the side. Just take a moment to kind of be in that position, and then we open that left arm. We exhale, thread, keep the energy going forwards with the crown of your head. 2 more. Inhale to open. Exhale, thread. Elbow bends to the side. We reach under. Last one. We open, twist, press up. And thread, lengthen and twist. And come back to all fours. Good work, guys. So let's come to a little downward dog stretch. So tuck your toes under, and we're going to press back and just feel the length through your spine. Now I want you to walk your feet in about halfway and bring your heels down if you can. Now maybe they won't go down today, but trying to get them towards the mat. Now don't mind if you bend the knees. You can bend those knees. We're just going to keep a more rounded shape through the spine and just push ourselves away, like we're kind of pushing away from the mat. Feeling into the calves here a little bit, maybe into still the hamstrings, tuck the tailbone under. So it's definitely not a downward dog shape, it's different. We're just going to press back here. Good, now open it up again, walk those feet back. Enjoy sending the sit bones up to the ceiling, and then let's bring the right knee to the chest and bring it down into our pigeon stretch. So we're going to slide ourselves out, and we're going to just come here, lengthen the chest up. And you might need to pop a little cushion or something under that hip just to give your hips a little extra space. We're just going to melt down and forwards. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. So we want to just stay here just a little bit. Well, we're not just sinking and collapsing, but maybe there's a little rock left to right. And always trying to just kind of keep energy, maybe rock forwards and back a little bit, really gentle, smooth. And then kind of let yourself just sort of go a little bit deeper if you can. One more deep breath. And then let's just push ourselves back up. So coming back, let's try and lift that right knee. So tuck the back toes under, scoot through the tummy, lift that right knee as we step it back into the down stretch. Bring the left knee through. So just changing sides and coming in. Now just be careful of that knee at the front. Just make sure it doesn't feel not right. So maybe that there's more of an angle here. So just lift that chest to start with, and then just melt down where you can. Again, you can pop a cushion or something under that hip, the left hip. If it doesn't feel like you can kind of sink into the stretch yet, if it feels super tight, that can sometimes help. So again, keep it moving, breathing. Sometimes one side can feel slightly different to the other side. So just noticing how this side feels as you just gently ease into the hip opener. One more deep breath here. And then let's just come from here to a seated position. So we're going to just kind of roll onto that left hip and just come around to a little side stretch for the body. Now, you can take a straddle position. Okay, if that feels comfortable for you, you can be much narrower than this, wider than this, but try not to make sure that you're compromising the shape of your back just to get the legs more open. So we want to keep a nice upright position through the body. Grounding through the pelvis, lengthening through the spine. We're going to bring hands behind the head and we're going to reach over to one side. Let's flex the feet, add a bit more energy through those legs as we go up and over to the left, up through the rib cage and over. And then coming up. So with the hands behind the head, we're sort of not tempted to just use the arms for this. What I'm really trying to get you to do is kind of forget about the arms and think about the spine up and over into that side bend, rather than just kind of collapsing into the stretch. So keep the head pressing back into the hands. push through the heels, through the legs, and just keep trying to find a little bit more space in that mid-back. Good, let's bring it forward, just bring the elbows down and just feel a little bit of an inner thigh stretch. Don't worry if your elbows can't get down, so just breathe wherever you can. You can always pop some cushions there and kind of go into it with a little bit more support. Just bring all your attention to the back and to the hips and just try and create more space. And then from there, we're going to bring ourselves, legs are going to come together. So I'm going to just spin to the side. So legs are going to come together, go to the other side. And we're going to lift ourselves up. We're going to reach forwards, breathing out. And I want you to just let your hands fall wherever they will be. So they may be towards the feet, maybe here, maybe they're just higher up. So just fall wherever they will be. We're going to open one arm to the side. Use the hand that's still on that leg to kind of add a bit of pressure and get yourself to twist open. We're really doing some nice rotation in this class to help with your posture and your mobility in your spine. So if you sit at a desk all day, then this is going to be a really nice routine to focus on getting movement and strengthening into that thoracic. So as we're twisting, we're also thinking of working the back, lifting out of the hips. Good, let's fold it forwards and then just restack. And we're going to come into some hip exercises now. So we're going to come, well, not really exercises, a little sort of rocking movement. So just tip yourself back off your sit bones. So we're not upright on the sit bones, we're a little bit tipped back. We're going to lift those legs, so kind of like a little teaser. And we're going to open them out. So I'm slightly tipped back, but still lifted through the chest. And then we're going to see if we can maybe straighten a leg. Now, don't worry if you can't. You can just hold and balance in this position. Or maybe try and straighten a leg, hold the ankle, the calf, and then bend. So nothing else moves, and then straighten the other leg. So just finding that little tipped back position. One more on each side. You can maybe do one more on each side or try both legs at the same time. Bring those legs together. We're going to go into rolling like a ball. Hug yourself in, rock yourself back to the shoulders and up. So just to those shoulders. Oh, didn't make it that time. Keep the feet balanced. Rolling through that spine. So just make sure you've got enough padding under your back. You've got a supportive mat. Or you're on a carpet, it will be good, but just make sure that you're protecting your spine. Keep those feet in. Just a little rocking to the shoulders. And this time we're going to slowly bring ourselves down and onto the back. Good, pop the feet down, slide your left leg out, bring the right knee into your chest. We'll just cross that leg over. So right arm is reaching out. You can turn your head to get a nice sense of opposition. Good, now we're going to roll all the way to the left side. So we've got the right leg crossed over. We're going to bring that left leg up to meet it and roll ourselves to that side. So now we're going to do a little arm opening. So we're going to slide this hand up and we're going to open our chest to the ceiling and just feel that the chest is opening, but the hips and knees are still facing the other way. And then bring it all the way back. So a little slide, like you're opening, unfolding to the ceiling. Really nice for the shoulders here to get that opening stretch. Bring it back. One more, open through that chest. And bring it back. Now we're going to just take a few leg stretches here. So bring your hand behind your head to support your head. And then hold onto your right ankle, squeeze the heel to the bottom and coming into a little bit of the front of thigh stretch. So pull that knee away, tuck the pelvis under a little bit, lengthen through the spine. Try and imagine the knee is kind of reaching down to the bottom of your mat as the hips press under and forwards. Good work, guys. Now just take that leg out in front of you, flex the foot, see if you can hold the calf or the thigh. Maybe you can hold the foot and just give yourself a little stretch for the leg forwards. Good, now we're going to try and roll onto the back into kind of like a happy baby pose. So roll onto your back, keep hold of that foot and bring the other foot up. Okay, so hopefully you got that. Don't worry if you didn't, but in this happy baby, you could be holding just the knees, shuffle onto your mat a little bit more if you've come off. Okay, so we're going to go from that happy baby onto the other side. So extend the right leg all the way and away. And then we're going to take that left one across. So it's going over to the right. The left arm is going to reach open. And you can turn the head if that feels nice, that sense of opposition. Breathe into the shoulders, into that hip. Try and reach that hip down rather than letting it bunch upwards. And then we're going to roll to that side. So my back will go to you for a moment. So we're going to roll all the way onto that side. And then we're going to go into those book openings. So opening and reaching around again. So hopefully as we continue to rotate the body, we're getting a little bit more space. And you might be feeling like it's kind of opening and easing up into the shoulders. Last one there, we're going to go into that quad, the thigh stretch and the hamstring stretch. So I'm just going to flip so I'm facing you, but you stay where you are and take that ankle and give that thigh a little bit of a stretch. You can hold the head. You want to feel that downwards feeling through the hip, the tuck of your pelvis under. So you don't want to be just kind of arching your back, getting as much of a stretch as you can. You want to find the neutral pelvis, even more of a pelvic tuck, a little bit of a tilt, and then pull the knee away and just go where you can. Keep focusing on the breathing and your alignment. And then we're going to stretch that leg out. We lay flat again. We hold where we can. So maybe it's the ankle, the calf, the foot. Maybe the leg not even straight yet. That's okay. You can have it a little bit bent. And then we're going to roll onto the back to the happy baby. So roll in from there. Keep hold of the foot or the calf or the thigh. And we're back here to open through the hips. So maybe you're just holding those calves or the thighs, the back of the knees. So we're going to come down with the feet. We're going to do a little bit of a higher bridge position today. So not usually what we do in Pilates. We kind of keep it quite nice and aligned and not extended. But there is more advanced Pilates exercises where we come into a bit of a higher open bridge. So we're going to try that today. We're going to roll up. Now just stay where you can. You might want to stay here or just let the ribs open a little bit more. So getting a bit more extension into your back. And now you might just want to stay here, hold it there, or you're going to hold onto the hips or maybe bring your hands right under your back. If that feels okay, you're going to lift the heels. So you just stay here. Breathe. Feel the front of the hips and thighs really opening up. And maybe bring one knee in and extend the leg to the ceiling. And then bring it down. Other leg. And bring it down. And then let's release the heels, release the arms. Come back to a neutral spine. The arms are going to reach down. We're going to go into an opening of your elbows to the side as we slowly roll the back down all the way. So keeping this kind of like square position through the arms. Just let your knees roll left to right. Ease in into the back and the hips. Keep breathing. Good. From there, we're going to stretch the legs all the way out, the arms back. We're going to roll ourselves up. So peeling your spine up, focusing on the mobility through the back. Inhale, exhale, reach for the toes as you roll all the way up and over. Feeling that lift and openness through the back as you exhale. Try and keep the hands off so they're energizing forwards. Circle them behind you as you roll up. Hands come behind the hip. We're going into our back support. Reach through the legs. Roll the shoulders open as we lift our hips. Reach through the toes. Open the chest to the ceiling. Focus on that extension across the shoulders. And come down. And we'll do one more. Roll the shoulders open. Reach the feet away. Roll the hips up. Scoop through the tummy. Gaze up to the ceiling. And bringing yourself down. Now the last little bit we're going to do, we're going to come onto the knees. Just gently swing the knees to the side. We're going to do a nice bit of extension and a hip flexor stretch as well. So just come up to those knees. We're going to reach the right arm all the way up and around. We're going to reach to that right heel, right calf, or wherever you can. The left one is going to come up and we're reaching to the ceiling. So we're pressing those hips up. You can have your toes tucked or flat, whatever feels fine on your knees. Lift and reach up rather than back. So up, up, up. Press those hips forwards. And then just support with your core. Transition to the other side. That arm's going to reach to the left. Right arm is up. You can look down or gaze up to that ceiling. Open through the hips on that side. Pressing up. And then control through that core to come back up. Gently bring the knees, the hands down, Bring the knees back. We're finishing as we started. We're just going to take a really nice moving cat stretch. So bring your knees a bit further back, your hands a bit further forwards, round the spine. Lower your pelvis towards the floor, coming into that up stretch, lift and open through the chest. And push back towards the heels. Let's do two more. Flowing with the breath, exhale, round. Like a wave, the hips go down. You want to keep lifted. Push the mat away. Open the chest and shoulders. And then sit back towards those heels. Let's do one more. The hips move under. Pull out of those ribs. Pull out of the wrists. Open the chest and shoulders. Imagine the crown of your head is going up to the ceiling and then sitting back all the way to your heels. So you can just stay in this child's pose position to ease out of all that lovely mobility, or just make your way up to a seated position. Give your shoulders a little roll and release them down. Good. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that and you're feeling a little bit more open, and I'll see you again in a Pilates class soon. Bye.